You've been explaining yourself for so long, you forgot what it feels like to just exist. You explain your feelings, your intentions, your perspective, your reality. You use different words, different tones, different examples, hoping that this time, finally, they'll understand. This time they'll see your side. This time they'll validate your experience. But they never do, because they were never trying to understand. They were letting you exhaust yourself. Every explanation is a performance they never asked for but always critique. You explain why you're hurt, and they tell you you're too sensitive. You explain your boundaries, and they tell you you're being controlling. You explain your needs, and they tell you you're asking too much. So you try harder. You get clearer, more articulate, more calm, more rational. You think if you could just say it the right way, with the right evidence, the right tone, they'd finally hear you. But here's what you're starting to realize: they hear you fine, they just don't care. And one day, mid sentence, mid explanation, mid defense of your own reality, you stop. Not because you've convinced them, but because you're done trying to. You stop explaining. Not dramatically, not with a speech. You just close your mouth. You let the silence sit. You let them twist your words. You let them misunderstand. You let them be wrong about you. And something radical happens. You feel lighter. Because explaining yourself to a narcissist is like trying to fill a black hole. No matter how much you give, how articulate you are, how patient you remain, it's never enough. They'll always find the flaw in your argument, the weakness in your reasoning, the proof that you're the unreasonable one. It was never about understanding you. It was about keeping you on the defense, keeping you proving yourself, keeping you smaller than them. When you stop explaining, you stop playing the game. You stop auditioning for basic respect. You stop defending your right to have feelings, needs, boundaries. You stop treating your reality like it needs their approval to be valid. You just exist. And you let that be enough. This doesn't mean you stop communicating. It means you stop over communicating to someone who weaponizes your words. You state things once, clearly, without justification, without a dissertation on why you feel entitled to feel what you feel. I'm not comfortable with that. I'm not comfortable with that because of this past experience, and also I've been thinking about it, and I realized that my boundaries are important, and I read this article that said, just no, just I'm leaving now, just I don't agree. No explanation, no defense, no 10-paragraph breakdown of your internal reasoning, because you finally understand. Your reasons are valid whether they accept them or not. Your feelings are real whether they validate them or not. Your boundaries exist whether they respect them or not. You stop seeking their permission to feel what you feel. At first, this feels terrifying. The silence where your explanations used to live feels like giving up, like you're not trying hard enough, like you're being cold or withholding. But you're not. You're just stopping the performance. You're refusing to participate in a conversation where only their interpretation matters, where your words will be twisted no matter how carefully you choose them. You're taking your power back. The power you gave away every time you explained, justified, defended, pleaded for them to understand something they had no intention of understanding. When you stop explaining yourself to a narcissist, they'll escalate. They'll accuse you of being difficult, of shutting down, of not caring about communication. They'll try to bait you back into the endless loop of defense and justification. Don't take the bait. Let them be frustrated. Let them misunderstand. Let them paint you as the villain. Their narrative about you is not your responsibility. You know who you are. You know what you meant. You know your intentions. And that's enough. You don't need their validation. You don't need their understanding. You don't need their approval. You need your peace. And peace doesn't come from convincing someone who profits from your confusion. Here's what changes when you stop explaining. You get your time back, your energy back, your sanity back. You're not spending hours mentally rehearsing how to make them understand. You're not replaying conversations, wondering how you could have said it better. You're just living, on your terms, with your truth intact, without needing anyone else to co-sign it. You become unreachable in the best way, not because you've built walls, but because you've stopped throwing yourself against theirs. You've stopped trying to force understanding from someone who uses your vulnerability as ammunition. You exist. You state your needs. You enforce your boundaries. You feel your feelings. And you do it all without a 500-word explanation of why you're allowed to. Because you're allowed to. Simply because you exist. So if you're still explaining, still defending, still trying to make them see, hear this. Stop. They see you. They just don't want to. And no amount of explanation will change someone who benefits from misunderstanding you. You don't owe anyone access to your internal world. You don't owe anyone a defense of your humanity. You don't owe anyone proof that you deserve basic respect. You just are. And that's enough. Stop explaining. Start existing. The right people won't need the dissertation. They'll just see you. And that will be enough. Thanks for being here. If this freed something in you, share it. Someone needs permission to stop explaining. And subscribe to The Unhurried Woman for more reminders that you don't have to justify your existence to anyone.